Hey guys, oh, I think you're gonna like this one. Subscribers, thank you for subscribing and thank you for your time. First time viewers, oh, I think you're gonna like this. But to my subscribers, I think this is a pretty good little treat because I think I uncovered something pretty crazy, huh, baby?
I think so.
This is pretty good. Okay. If you guys don't know who Lindsey Williams is, I understand because this is for a lot of people that have a lot of time on their hands. He's this elitist guy who, well, he's not an elitist, but he's friends with the elitists, and he met them back in 1970s, and it's just a whole long story, and he'd be more than happy to tell you because he's a long-winded kind of guy. But he used to work for him, and now he's friends with a bunch of them, and a bunch of them are old, and a bunch of them said, hey, you know what, we're about to die, we're old, and like old people like to do, they like to talk, so they said, you can tell everybody everything, we don't care, because we're old and we don't give a crap about nothing, so tell everybody our plans, we don't care. And I will post this link below, this is his newest radio interview, and he will tell you all about how he got hooked up with them, and this guy has been around for several years, since around 2000s, like mid 2000s, and he's put out several DVD sets, and he goes in detail, and he's been pretty darn accurate with all the stuff he said is going to happen. So just to let you know who that is, let's go to old J Snip 4 here, and this is about, well, I'll let Joe talk to you.
Well, I was just listening to Lindsey Williams. It was recorded about 2 weeks ago. I think it was on Dr. Stan Dio, whatever his name is, his show. And he answered a question that I was actually wondering in the back of my mind on the show there. And as y'all will recall, recently, Obama turned down the expansion or the creation of that Keystone's pipeline, oil pipeline, natural gas. And I wondered to myself, considering where it was coming from, and I know where Prudhoe Bay, Alaska is, which is where the oil that we found in the 1970s is. It is also the same location of the largest oil rig ever created that he also said would be heading that way. And it did arrive that way either last summer or late last year, maybe the third quarter, somewhere, I don't remember the exact time frame. But he said well in advance this oil rig was heading that way, and when he said it on the show then, I went and quickly looked online, and sure enough, there was an article, a regular news article.
Just stick with me, guys. You're gonna love you're gonna love this, how I tie this together. But this is all you got, because you got to get walked through the events of how this all led up to how I figured this out. And like I said, could be all coincidence, but once I put it together for you, you're gonna be like, holy crap! I think it's onto something.
This USS, or not USS, but the oil US Liberty oil rig, whatever it was called, right? And it was going where? Basically, Prudhoe Bay, Alaska. Right where he said that it would be going. Now remember what he said. The Middle East is going to break out in all these conflicts. They're going to give each of these countries to the Muslim Brotherhood. Old Gaddafi threw a big monkey wrench in their plan in Libya because it took way too long for them to get that accomplished. Put them months behind, and this is out of his mouth, months behind on their timeline to do all these things. And the next thing, of course, was going to be that we go into Syria, and then after Syria, there may be one other nation. I don't remember if he said that. But the last one they would go to would be Saudi Arabia. And when it got there, that's when they would jack the hell out of oil prices, and we'd all be in pain and suffering. Sometime after that, we would default on our debt to the Middle East and China and whoever else is sitting on it. And that would be the $16 trillion of debt that we owe. We would default on it or devalue it to 50% or something around there, etc. They would tell us, we're not sending you oil anymore, you screwed us, we hate you, America. And then shortly after that, we would have breaking news, America's got this largest pool of oil we've ever found, and blah, 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 we're now energy independent, except after paying $7 and $8 a barrel, or excuse me, per gallon at the gas pump, we'd be back to $4+ or whatever at the gas pump. But of course, after experiencing $7 and $8, we'll take 4 with a smile, even though we could have it for less than $1 all day long. That's the agenda. Now, he recently said, this video, why I'm doing this video, because of the video of him I watched recently. Matter of fact, I watched it today, and it's why I'm doing this video. But he did the video about 2 weeks ago, did this little interview. And he covers the same stuff and mentions that they are behind on their schedule, for sure. These elitists know that. They are. And one of the key things that they needed to get all this in place in advance
Okay, so he made this video, uploaded it on March 11th, okay? And he goes on to say about how the elitists, the Illuminati, are pissed off at Obama because Obama double-crossed him. He said, no, I'm not going to do that Keystone Pipeline, just like he said, like numerous times, not just one time, numerous times, not going to do it. So, sorry about that, Joe. But they're pissed off at him. So the elitists are pissed because Obama double-crossed him. Now, let's see what Joe just released just now, a couple hours ago.
Looks like the elite are right back on track. They're a little bit behind, but they're right back on track now. Headline news. Update 2. Obama to push U.S. agencies on South Keystone Pipeline. President Barack Obama will send a memo to federal agencies on Thursday, that's tomorrow, directing them to prioritize permitting on TransCanada's southern leg of the Keystone Oil Pipeline. A senior White House official said on Wednesday. Facing a barrage of Republican criticism over high gas prices, Obama will visit Cushing, Oklahoma on Thursday to promote his energy policies, which include support for the southern leg of the pipeline.
So how about that? So he says he found this article just a couple hours ago, around 6 something, just a few hours ago, okay? So here we are, we flash forward 10 days, and now he's going to go through with the pipeline. He talks about how, I guess, the elitists gave him a call up and said, hey bro, you better do what we're going to tell you to do, or we're going to have some trouble, or he's like, they must have just talked him into it. But I think something else happened. Because what happened yesterday? And let's look at this. This is from the old Blazy Blaze. You know, on Monday, a curious pattern was observed and documented on the Blaze stories about Malia Obama, Barack and Michelle Obama's eldest daughter, and her purported spring break trip to Oaxaca, Mexico, were mysteriously disappearing from various outlets on their websites. They had this story about his oldest daughter being down in Mexico, then all of a sudden on the internet, all these stories about her being down in Mexico, they were pulled. And they even said, White House admits to asking media outlets to scrub the Malia Obama spring break story. So what happened yesterday at 12 o'clock p.m.? A 7.4 earthquake in Mexico. And then I find this story today that at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, yesterday, March 20th, Obama had already said they're not that they're going to do it, they're going to fast track it. And that's 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. So what's that? Like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock Mexico, because that's West Coast time? Because what, we're 4 o'clock, we're 1 hour behind Eastern, so that'd be 4 o'clock, and California's 2 hours behind us. So that's 2 o'clock. So Obama's eldest daughter is down in Mexico, and at 12 o'clock, there's a big old 7.4 magnitude earthquake, and 2 hours later, which translates to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, he's going to say, oh, I'm going to go ahead and go along with this pipeline after all, I'm going to do it. So did somebody in the old Illuminati say, okay, fine, he's not going to do this. He's not going to do this pipeline deal. Let's trigger. Hey, I hear his daughter's down there in Mexico on spring break. Let's trigger up that heart, boys. Let's teach this guy a lesson. Fire up that heart. Crash this freaking big ass earthquake. While she's down there, and now all of a sudden, he's going to do this pipeline. Could be coincidence. I don't know. I think it's fine that, like he even says in this article that even Jason read to you, that in January he says no, that was just 2.5 months ago or 2 months ago, depending on what date in January he said no to. He says, I'm not going to do it. Big earthquake happens. His daughter's down there in Mexico, and then within a matter of hours later, he's saying, yep, and not only that, we're going to fast track this bitch. We're going to make sure this thing happens. So I don't know, guys. Send me a comment. Tell me what you think. I think it's awfully coincidental, is all, because you know they're running the show. Just like Bill Clinton said. He said he thought once he got to become president, he was going to run the show and he was going to do stuff. But nope. Just like he found out, it's not him. It's not Congress. It ain't nobody run the show but the elitists, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them. So you want to sit there and not you guys, but just anybody who doesn't agree or doesn't believe that they exist, then find another reason why all of a sudden this dude is just all of a sudden going to do it. So, thanks for watching, guys. That's all I wanted to say to you. Tell me what you think. Bye-bye.